When I needed help coordinating the most dangerous rescue operation in Seattle's history, I turned to Luna Martinez, a janitor who always listened to my problems. I had no idea she held a PhD in structural engineering or that she had helped design the very buildings we were searching. What happened when my father, Fire Chief Admiral Robert Chen, discovered the truth about the woman who helped save 47 lives would prove that sometimes our greatest assets come disguised as ordinary people. Hi everyone, welcome to Life's Changing Stories. Now let's dive into today's story. The Seattle skyline stretched before Marcus Chen as he stood in the command center of Emergency Response Station 7, watching his father's disappointed face on the video monitor for what felt like the 1,000th time in his 28 years. Fire Chief Admiral Robert Chen had built his reputation on precision, discipline, and results, three qualities he was convinced his son would never possess. "Your response times are still unacceptable, Marcus," Admiral Chen's voice crackled through the speakers, his military bearing evident even through the grainy video connection. Station 7 has the worst performance metrics in the entire Seattle Emergency Response Division. I'm beginning to question whether this assignment was a mistake. Marcus Chen had been born into privilege and expectations that felt more like a prison sentence. His father, Admiral Robert Chen, had transformed Seattle's emergency response system into a military-precise operation that served as a model for cities across the nation. What the public didn't know was that Admiral Chen treated his home like a command center, controlling every aspect of Marcus's life since childhood with the same rigid discipline he applied to emergency operations. Despite their wealth and Admiral Chen's prestigious position, Marcus had attended public schools, blending in with classmates from ordinary backgrounds while hiding the constant pressure he faced at home. What Marcus didn't know, what his mother, Dr. Sarah Kim, had never told him, was that Admiral Chen wasn't his biological father. Marcus was Sarah's son, from her first marriage to a structural engineer who had died in a construction accident when Marcus was 2 years old. Admiral Chen had married Sarah not for money or status, but because he genuinely loved her. However, despite his deep affection for his wife, Admiral Chen had never been able to fully accept Marcus as his own son. He constantly berated himself for being too harsh, promising to change, only to fall back into patterns of criticism and impossible standards that left Marcus desperately seeking approval that never came. Even after Marcus graduated from the University of Washington with a degree in emergency management, Admiral Chen doubted his abilities. Sarah Kim watched silently as her son made futile efforts to earn his stepfather's respect, accepting her husband's unyielding nature while secretly hoping Marcus would eventually find his own path to success. At 28, Marcus still clung to the hope of one day proving himself worthy of Admiral Chen's respect. The endless criticism from his childhood remained a constant source of pain that overshadowed even his mother's unwavering support and love. After months of persistent requests, Admiral Chen had reluctantly assigned Marcus to manage Emergency Response Station 7, the most troubled unit in the Seattle system. The station was plagued by poor response times, high personnel turnover, equipment failures, and a demoralized staff who had lost faith in their leadership capabilities. Marcus arrived at Station 7 with determination and a genuine desire to help his community, despite knowing his father expected him to fail. The aging firehouse was understaffed and overwhelmed, with veteran responders who were skeptical of the Admiral's son taking command of their struggling operation. Despite the daunting challenges, Marcus threw himself into the work with enthusiasm that surprised the veteran staff. He began by engaging directly with firefighters, paramedics, and support personnel, analyzing individual performance to identify areas for improvement. Some responders needed motivation, Others required clearer protocols, and many simply needed someone who would listen to their concerns with empathy and respect. Marcus's genuine efforts gradually earned the trust of his staff, even the most skeptical veterans who had initially dismissed him as another privileged administrator playing at being a real emergency responder. During his challenging first months at Station 7, Marcus found unexpected comfort in conversations with Luna Martinez, a friendly maintenance worker who seemed to know everyone at the station. Luna cleaned the firehouse during evening shifts, but her warm personality and genuine interest in others had made her a confidant to firefighters, paramedics, and administrative staff alike. Marcus found himself staying late at the station, ostensibly to catch up on paperwork, but actually looking forward to Luna's arrival each evening. She had a calming presence that helped him process the stress of trying to transform a failing emergency response unit while managing his father's constant criticism. Luna's background remained largely mysterious to Marcus. He knew she had studied engineering for several years before taking an academic leave of absence, but she never elaborated on the circumstances that had led to her current situation. What Marcus appreciated most was Luna's ability to listen without judgment and offer thoughtful insights that helped him navigate the complex interpersonal dynamics of managing emergency responders. One evening, after a particularly difficult day dealing with equipment failures and staff conflicts, Marcus expressed gratitude for Luna's support and offered his help in return. "You always listen to my problems and help me see solutions I couldn't find on my own," he said. "If you ever need anything at all, please just tell me. I'll try to help in whatever way I can." Luna's response revealed the personal struggles she had been hiding. Her mother was seriously ill at home, requiring expensive medical treatments that Luna's maintenance job barely covered. Her father had died 3 years earlier in a workplace accident, leaving the family with mounting medical bills and financial hardship that had forced Luna to leave her engineering studies and take whatever work she could find. "The schedule here works for me because I can take care of my mother during the day," Luna explained. "The pay is better than my previous job, and everyone here treats me with respect. I don't want anyone to think I'm taking advantage of kindness, so I've never mentioned my situation." Marcus was shocked to learn about Luna's hidden struggles. Despite her daily challenges, she maintained the positive, supportive attitude that had made her such a valued presence at the station. Her resilience and determination impressed Marcus, who realized he had been so focused on his own problems that he had failed to see the quiet strength of the person who had been helping him all along. "I meant what I said about helping," Marcus reiterated. "You've been there for me when I needed support. Let me be there for you when you need it." Luna appreciated Marcus's lack of arrogance, which was contrary to what everyone had expected from the Admiral's son. Their evening conversations, which often lasted for hours after the day shift had gone home, created a connection built on mutual respect and shared vulnerability. Marcus felt inexplicable joy when he saw Luna's smiling face each evening, and Luna found herself looking forward to their talks as the highlight of her workday. Despite her lack of a completed degree, Luna demonstrated sophisticated understanding of emergency response protocols and offered insightful suggestions that helped Marcus improve Station 7's operations. When Marcus tried to reduce her workload out of concern for her exhaustion, Luna categorically refused, not wanting to take advantage of their friendship or create the appearance of favoritism. Meanwhile, Station 7's performance metrics were steadily improving under Marcus's leadership. Admiral Chen, observing his son's success from a distance, began to acknowledge his capabilities, but his ingrained skepticism remained despite Marcus's long hours and dedication. Admiral Chen continued to challenge him, waiting for signs of failure that would confirm his belief that Marcus lacked the character necessary for emergency response leadership. Everything changed on a Tuesday morning in October when a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Seattle at 7:23 a.m. The earthquake caused widespread damage throughout the city, with multiple building collapses, infrastructure failures, and mass casualty incidents that pushed every emergency response unit to its limits. Station 7 was assigned to coordinate search and rescue operations at the Meridian Office Complex, a 12-story building that had partially collapsed, trapping an estimated 40 to 50 people in the rubble. The building's unique design and uncertain structural integrity made rescue operations extremely dangerous, requiring specialized knowledge and careful planning to avoid causing further collapse. Admiral Chen arrived at the scene within an hour, taking personal command of the overall emergency response while assigning Marcus to lead the specific rescue operations at the Meridian Complex. For Marcus, this was simultaneously the opportunity he had been waiting for and the moment he feared most. A chance to prove himself under the most challenging circumstances imaginable. Standing before the collapsed building, Marcus realized that successful rescue operations would require detailed knowledge of the building's structural design, load-bearing capabilities, and potential failure points. Without this information, rescue teams would be working blind, risking both their own lives and the lives of the people they were trying to save. As Marcus struggled with these technical challenges, Luna approached him quietly. "I might be able to help," she said simply. "Luna, this isn't a good time," Marcus replied, focused on coordinating with rescue teams. "I appreciate your support, but this is beyond anything we've dealt with before." "Marcus," Luna said firmly, "I helped design this building." The revelation stopped Marcus cold. Luna explained that before her father's death and her mother's illness, she had been completing her PhD in structural engineering at the University of Washington. The Meridian Office Complex had been her doctoral project, working with a team of professors and industry experts to design earthquake-resistant commercial buildings for the Pacific Northwest. "I know every load-bearing beam, every potential failure point, every safe route through this building," Luna said. "I also know where the building's emergency shelter areas are located, which is probably where most of the survivors are trapped." With Luna's expertise guiding the operation, Marcus coordinated the most complex rescue mission in Station 7's history. Luna provided detailed blueprints from memory, identified safe entry points that wouldn't compromise the remaining structure, and guided rescue teams through debris fields toward areas where survivors were most likely to be found. Over the next 16 hours, Marcus and Luna worked together to extract 47 people from the collapsed building. Luna's knowledge of the building's design allowed rescue teams to navigate dangerous areas safely, while her understanding of structural engineering helped them shore up unstable sections to prevent further collapse during rescue operations. The operation drew media attention throughout the day, with news crews documenting the careful, methodical rescue efforts. Marcus coordinated teams, while Luna consulted with structural engineers and architects who had arrived to assist with the technical aspects of the operation. Admiral Chen, initially focused on citywide emergency coordination, gradually became aware of the exceptional success at the Meridian Complex. When he arrived at the scene to personally oversee the final stages of the rescue operation, he was told that Marcus had been working with a maintenance worker from Station 7, who possessed extraordinary knowledge of the building's structure. Admiral Chen's first reaction was fury. The idea that Marcus would involve an unqualified civilian in such a dangerous operation seemed to confirm every doubt he had harbored about his son's judgment. He stormed into the command area, prepared to remove Marcus from command and take personal control of the rescue operation. "What is the meaning of this?" Admiral Chen demanded, his voice carrying the authority of decades in emergency response leadership. "I'm told you've been taking advice from a janitor during the most critical rescue operation this city has seen in years. Marcus, exhausted but proud of what they had accomplished, stood his ground for the first time in his life. "Dad, I want you to meet Dr. Luna Martinez," he said firmly. "She's not just maintenance staff. She's the structural engineer who designed this building. And she's the reason we've saved 47 lives today." Luna stepped forward, her work clothes covered in dust and debris, and extended her hand to Admiral Chen. "Admiral Chen, I completed my PhD coursework in structural engineering at the University of Washington," she said calmly. "I took leave to care for my mother after my father's workplace accident, but I maintained my professional certifications. When Marcus needed expertise to navigate this rescue safely, I was able to help." Admiral Chen stared at Luna, then at his son, processing this information while the weight of his assumptions crashed down around him. He had spent years criticizing Marcus for lacking judgment, only to discover that his son had recognized and utilized the expertise of someone Admiral Chen had dismissed based on her job title alone. "I owe you both an apology," Admiral Chen said quietly, his military bearing giving way to genuine humility. "Dr. Martinez, your expertise clearly saved lives today. Marcus, your ability to recognize and utilize available resources demonstrates the kind of leadership I've been hoping to see." The successful rescue operation at the Meridian Complex became a turning point for everyone involved. Marcus had proven his capabilities under the most challenging circumstances. Luna had demonstrated that expertise and dedication transcend job titles, and Admiral Chen had learned that his prejudices had blinded him to the qualities that make real leaders effective. In the weeks following the earthquake, Admiral Chen arranged for Luna to receive a full scholarship to complete her doctoral degree, along with a position as a consulting structural engineer for the Seattle Emergency Response Division. Her knowledge of earthquake-resistant design became invaluable for improving the city's disaster preparedness planning. Marcus continued leading Station 7, which had gained recognition as one of the most effective emergency response units in the Pacific Northwest. His father's criticism was replaced by respect and pride, though Admiral Chen made efforts to understand why his previous approach had been so damaging to their relationship. 6 months after the earthquake, Marcus and Luna's professional partnership had evolved into something deeper. Their shared experience during the rescue operation had created a bond that transcended their different backgrounds and circumstances. Luna's mother, whose medical treatments were now covered by Luna's improved insurance benefits, recovered enough to attend their wedding the following spring. Admiral Chen walked Luna down the aisle, having formed a deep respect for the woman who had helped his son discover his true capabilities. During his speech at the reception, Admiral Chen acknowledged that the earthquake had taught him as much about family as it had about emergency response. "Sometimes," Admiral Chen said, "we spend so much time looking for what we expect to see that we miss what's actually in front of us. Luna and Marcus showed me that real strength comes from recognizing and supporting each other's capabilities, not from trying to prove superiority." Dr. Luna Martinez completed her PhD the following year, specializing in post-disaster structural assessment and emergency response engineering. Marcus was promoted to Regional Emergency Response Coordinator, overseeing multiple stations across Western Washington. Their unconventional beginning had created a partnership that transformed not only their own lives, but also improved emergency response capabilities for their entire community. The story of their rescue operation became a case study in emergency management programs, demonstrating how effective leadership involves recognizing expertise wherever it exists and utilizing all available resources to achieve mission success. Marcus had learned that proving himself didn't require earning his father's approval. It required staying true to his own values and surrounding himself with people who shared his commitment to helping others. Admiral Chen kept a photo from the rescue operation on his desk, showing Marcus and Luna coordinating rescue teams outside the collapsed Meridian complex. The image served as a daily reminder that leadership meant recognizing talent and potential in unexpected places, and that family relationships built on mutual respect were stronger than those based on authority and control. Their journey from a struggling emergency response station to national recognition for life-saving rescue operations proved that success comes not from meeting other people's expectations, but from having the courage to trust your own judgment and the wisdom to value the people who choose to stand beside you when the stakes are highest. We hope you enjoyed today's story of love, life, and betrayal. For more free stories and entertainment from our channel, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe with notifications.